today with Pat Kennedy, your head football coach for the Montgomery Lake Creek Lions. How are you doing today, Coach?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Now you've been there 5 years. You started the program, including day one of practice when the school buildings weren't even certified for occupancy yet, and having to figure out who was on the team and what positions they played and how to get them equipment because you'd never had any interaction with the kids before.
Yes, sir.
To an undefeated regular season last year. First, just kind of take us through the whole process of what's been going on in those 5 years and how you have built the program up.
Well, we opened in 18, and like you said, we started in August. We did see the kids in that summer, and then we got into there. We played without seniors in the first year, and then the next year we went 4-6 in 19, and then I guess 20 is the COVID year. We went to our playoffs for the first time. We thought we were turning the corner in 20. We had Dayton Sweeting and Ty. We ended up having some injuries, so we ended up going 6-5, losing to Texas High in the first round of the playoffs. The next year, very small senior class, very good senior class. But what I will say about that senior class, they went 5-5, and they kind of set the tone for what we are about Lake Creek as far as our culture and stuff. And that carried over. Now our kid, I'm a better coach when I have better kids. We got more kids, so we got a little bit more talent. But the culture that the 21 class set forth has been the big thing. Our kids work hard, they show up. We're excited about what we're doing, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, now it's the spring, really busy time. A lot of your kids are out there playing in other sports than football. And you're seeing them in the weight room. So how would you say things are going so far in the spring?
Okay, so our baseball team, last year's 5 rounds deep. This year they're pretty good. They're in the playoffs. They start tonight. We have probably 3 contributors to our football team over in baseball. We got our JV baseball players back yesterday or Monday. So when we've been in spring practice, this is our 3rd week, and he got better on Monday when we got our baseball players back. So we're excited. To me, spring football is you already know probably who can play. What I'm looking for is kids that can add to the roster, building what we think is a brand of toughness with our younger kids. So we're going to it. We're going to go all the way through next Saturday. So we have 5 more practices. We'll have a chance to get better.
All right, and if you don't mind, kind of walk us through who your graduating seniors are, who might be stepping into those roles next year, and who your returners are for next year.
All right. So last year, we quarterback Cade Tessier, who's going to go to Baylor. He was our quarterback. He's going to be replaced by Eli Marcos, who will be a junior. He played a little bit last year. Eli is probably being recruited by, probably 50 schools by now. He can flat spin it. He's going to be really, really good. He's about 6'2", 200 pounds. So that's where we'll be at quarterback. We lose, I think, 2 seniors in the receiving spot, Wisniewski and Hall, but we're going to replace with Cade Geary, who's going to be a junior. He's 6'1". I mean, the kids we lose versus the kids we're replacing, we're real excited on the offensive side. So that's a really, really positive. Our offensive line, we returned 3 offensive linemen from last year. We lose a guard, but we're replacing with Hunter McKinney, and so, while Hunter has some growth to do in the spring, we expect big things from him. On defense, we're as deep at the defensive line spot as we've been since the school opened. Our inside linebackers are pretty deep. Gerard Collada will be back. Leighton Scott and those guys will be in the secondary. So Tyron Pierre will play either corner or safety for us. So we're really, really excited. Now, potential, what you see on paper and what you produce on the field, two different things. But we're going to say with senior leadership from our offensive line and Collado on defense that our football team is going to be pretty good. So.
All right. So let's go from talking Montgomery Lake Creek to kind of talking big picture of Texas high school athletics.
Okay.
What would you say the biggest challenge facing Texas high school athletics right now is?
Oh, now you're getting into I don't want to get too political, but the challenge of the athletic period to me seems to be the first thing, and then vouchers or the ability to leave public school to go to private school. Those are the two biggest challenges right now that impact Texas high school football. Those two things to me, the challenge of the athletic period. I just watched AD Insider before I got on the Zoom with you about Rockwall and how, schools that are embracing athletics and this, that, I'm not to say that we don't embrace athletics. I mean, we have great facilities, we have great administrators. That's a tough, I do realize that funding of education is going to be tough. So that's a big issue. And then vouchers, I think, are detriment to public school. No one can give me a positive reason for vouchers. So those are the two big things that in my 30 years of being around it are the two things that are an issue.
All right. So now let's go from real big to real small. Let's see if we can't learn a little bit about Pat Kennedy. What would you say your number one guilty pleasure is?
Oh, Diet Coke and strawberry ice cream. Yeah. And I'm not a big, I guess, partaker of adult beverages, as a young man, but I enjoy. Kids make fun of me all the time about Diet Coke, and then on Fridays and Saturdays, I'm gonna eat some strawberry ice cream. Bluebell. So I don't know what would happen if I worked in Brenham. So
I don't think most of us know what would happen if we worked in Brenham. Well, Coach, thank you very much for your time today. Best of luck through the spring and in the upcoming season.
Hey, so you're going to talk to Coach Williams over Fort Bend Marshall?
I am, as soon as we can get it all hooked up.
Well, I would tell you this. Our football team, we expect to play Fort Bend Marshall in the third round of football season next year. So that's kind of where we are. So that's kind of where we're headed. And so those are the things we'd like an opportunity to play Fort Bend Marshall. We'd like an opportunity to play South Oak Cliff, all those. So that's kind of where we're at. I appreciate the time, though.
Yeah, since you brought it up. So some people look at schedules and say, ooh, this is a tough schedule.
Mm-hmm.
While as if you're trying to compete at the highest level, you say, give me those teams. Let me see what I've got and what I need to improve. Right.
It'll be interesting when we realign next year, and then I have to go find new opponents because, as a new school, it was pretty, we're going to play Angleton, which is going to be a good football game. And then in our non-district, we play Angleton, Elkins, Bel Air, and Waller. Okay, so, last year I didn't really know how we were going to do because we were 5-5 the year before. I think we got a really good chance to be successful in those. Our district, I think Thomas Randall will be really good because of growth. Huntsville's got a good core of young kids. So let's just say you get through all of that and you are maybe one loss. Because, like at the Woodlands, we would go through and we would look at who we're playing. And, we always wanted to play Katy. Now, we didn't want to play Katy, North Shore, and Smithson Valley because we did that 1 year or 2 years. That's no fun. But you want to find out in the preseason how good you can be. You want to survive district and then get into into postseason with your team as healthy as it can be. And then, you've got to have just a little bit of luck. I think to a certain extent to go all the way to the finals, because that's as far as I've ever been. I've never won one, but I've been to the finals twice. You have to have a little bit of luck. You have to beat somebody that you're not supposed to. And then you just that's kind of how it is. I think in our 5A Class 2, Fort Bend Marshall, I don't know how good Port Neches Groves will be. They graduate a lot of seniors. And then I guess Liberty Hill's the traditional over there, and then South Oak Cliff will be good. So that's the state of football right there for me, is what we're trying to do. Now, over in Montgomery, they play Argyle. Argyle's really good. So next year, we'll probably play a little more challenging non-district schedule, because all of our kids are pretty young. Our best class probably our junior class. Have another year with them. That's kind of my take on where we'll be and how football is in 5A Division II. So.
All right. Well, good stuff, Coach. Again, thanks for your time today, and best of luck in the spring and the upcoming season.
All right. Good talking to you.
LoneStarGridiron.com. Access the complete history of Texas high school football, over 100 years of information, win-loss records, coaching histories, individual stats, records, and more. Lone Star Gridiron, the authority on Texas high school football.